Last video I did, I was talking about the difference between conditioning and endurance. They're different responses that you can promote through your efforts. So depending on what you're training for, you're going to want to channel your efforts in the right way to promote the right response. And one of the questions that came up was, I feel that most North American sports require athletes to be conditioned and also have endurance. And I said, well, unless you change the definition, which you're totally allowed to do, you can give words whatever fucking meaning you want to give them, but unless you change the definition, no. Most North American sports, or the athletes that play them, are required to be conditioned and they don't need endurance. So I got some numbers here to illustrate the point, but the first thing we got to do is we got to look at the definition one more time of conditioning. The capacity to repeat efforts with minimal fatigue. Quality takes precedence over quantity. It's about putting forth a better effort, not just any type of effort, and trying hard. Obviously, you should be trying hard. Your intention should be to do your best. But what's the outcome of that intention? If the outcome is piss poor speed, remember, speed is paramount in sports. So if you're barely fucking moving, coach is going to say, get the fuck out of here. He's going to substitute you and put somebody else in who could put forth a better quality type of effort. So we got some numbers to illustrate this point and why conditioning takes precedence over endurance in the North American sports. So the big four over here: baseball, football, hockey, basketball. In baseball, they say the most exciting play is a triple. You know why they say that? Because something is happening for the most consecutive amount of seconds. A triple takes roughly 15 seconds. So every other play in baseball generally takes less than 15 seconds. Why the fuck does a baseball player need to work on endurance? They don't. They don't ever need to work on endurance. A play doesn't go longer than 15 fucking seconds. And a triple, that rarely ever fucking happens in the first place. So they need to focus on conditioning. In football, the fastest release times by quarterbacks in the NFL are generally under 2.5 seconds. The slowest release times are generally just over 3 seconds. So therefore, a play, the quarterback releasing the ball, takes roughly 3 seconds. You got 3 seconds to get to the quarterback to break up the play. You don't get to him, he's going to throw the ball. That's maybe one more second that a defensive back or receiver has to get into position to make a play. Now, should he make a catch? Then yeah, the play could go like 6 seconds, 7 seconds, maybe an interception, 8 seconds, depending on how far he takes it back. But we're still talking about a matter of a few fucking seconds. Why do these guys need to be training for endurance? They don't. They need to be conditioned. They need to repeat high quality efforts. In hockey, maybe a little more endurance oriented, but we got a couple things that we got to touch on. The average shift takes 30 to 45 seconds. Okay, so that's a little bit longer than just a few seconds like baseball and football, but what you're not taking into consideration is these guys come off the ice for minutes at a time. You take into consideration timeouts, TV timeouts, injuries, goals, anything like that, and these guys are off the ice for 3 to 4 to 5 to 10 times longer than they were on the ice in the fucking first place. So conditioning, once again, they need to focus on not endurance. Basketball, players will be on the court for a little bit longer. One possession lasts 24 seconds. You got 24 seconds to take the ball, get down court, take a shot. Now, it doesn't always take 24 seconds. A lot of teams will shoot a little bit faster than that. And there's some explosive efforts, high quality efforts required to get a rebound and stuff like that. But generally, these guys need to be conditioned. It's not all out effort all the time. The time it takes to set up a play. And then you got to take into consideration these guys, they got TV timeouts as well. There's 4 quarters. The quarters are shorter, so there's more intermissions for sustained periods of time. They need to be conditioned. At the bottom here, irrespective of what you're training for, there's a continuum. Max effort cannot be sustained. So you need to determine, do you need to put forth multiple max efforts, or do you need to sustain sub-maximal efforts? This should influence how you do what you do. But for the big four in North America, it's mostly max efforts that need to be repeated, not sustained. So these athletes need to be conditioned. That's something I wanted to touch on because a lot of people just aren't getting the picture. They think that athletes still need to have endurance. But if the play only takes 15 seconds, 3 seconds, 30 to 45 seconds, or one possession in basketball is 24 seconds, then why the fuck are you investing time and effort into getting better at endurance as opposed to conditioning? So that's something I wanted to share. Hopefully you like the information. If you do, share it. Click the fucking button at the bottom. Subscribe to the channel. I'll keep bringing you the best information that you're going to find as it relates to training to build muscle, get stronger, perform better, all that fucking shit.